Okay.
Testing, testing, testing. All right, I think we good to go. Um, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me? Put a one in the chat if you guys can hear me.
That somebody says muted.
Yeah, I know. Should be should be good, nah.
Oh,
Okay, all right,
they
there we go.
put on one now. We
There we
good.
go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, new year, technical difficulties. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What's up, man? This is Josh back with another video. I'm excited about this. This will be my first tech talk this year. I'm super excited about it because I got another special guest in the building. My man Jamar, he's a data analyst, and I'm excited to have him here. And we're gonna talk about how you guys can get into the field. But let me shout out a couple people that are in the chat. Good to see you guys. I didn't expect that many people to come through. What's up, man? Big Bad Bull. Anthony Arrington, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? L Dunn, Maddox, my man Maddox, how you doing? Good to see you. Jasmine A, Pearson Center Cyber, what's up, Cheryl? How you doing? Um, See over the technician, good to see you, bros. Good to see you, man. Um, and Denise, I hope I ain't mess up your name, but good to see you.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, Shaquille, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? Um, yeah, and shout out to anybody if I miss you. Shout out to everybody that's here. I definitely appreciate you guys coming through. But
Yeah,
like I
we
was
got some people from my Discord too. Shout
okay.
out to All About the Data Discord. We got some people in the chat.
Oh
You know.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
let's just start out by letting you introduce yourself, man, because I met actually let me say this before you start. I actually met you more in one of those Twitter spaces. Uh, Lately I've been trying to hop into them to try to expand the network of people um that I could potentially help, you know what I'm saying, get into the field or whatever, do whatever I can, you know what I'm saying, and try to help out as much as I can. But it's a lot of people in these Twitter spaces that I'm meeting, and Jamar is one of those people, and it was super super cool to actually meet him and hitting him up, and he said, "Yeah, sure, I'll come on and do an interview." And so, hey, man, I appreciate you
Yeah.
doing that. But Jamar, go down and introduce yourself.
Yeah, definitely. First, a lot of people have been meeting me off Twitter Spaces, so I try to engage with those as much as I can. But yeah, my name is Jamar on Twitter. I go by Data J in Tech, which is actually a rebrand of myself because when I first got into my tech journey, which was in like 2018, I was actually on the network engineer route. So I was studying things like A plus, um, Network Plus, CCNA, things to that nature, which actually kind of helped me get my current role, which is more like help desk right now.
Hmm.
Um, but I also have a background in digital marketing. So I used to run a digital marketing agency where I would set up ad campaigns for clients and I would actually look at their analytics and use those analytics to kind of tailor their ad so that the ad would optimize and work better in their favor to bring more traffic to their website and their products and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my introductory to analytics in a sense was through marketing. And then that's when I recently came across the whole data analytics career path itself, and just recently started studying for that. So that's a mini introduction. Keep it
Mm-hmm.
short.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. You kind of started how I started. Like I went the whole network route. The people, I guess, because I went to school first, and I went to school for computer networking, and then I was like, oh, I want to be a network administrator. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And really, that wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? It didn't work out that way. I ended up in, you know, working with data a lot later on in my career, but that's exactly where I started. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
I think data is in everything that we do, right? Even as a network engineer, or even as help desk, when you're doing troubleshooting, you're looking at information to kind of help you with troubleshooting. So I feel like some of the skill sets is still kind of transferable.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Cause
Yeah.
I mean, well, and see, on my side, I work as a administrator, a database administrator, and so one of the things that transitioned for me was the whole systems administration work, just
Yeah.
working with servers in general. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yeah.
that kind of transferred a lot over because SQL sits on a Windows server, so you have to understand how to if you run into issues with the Windows operating system, you got to fix that in order to get SQL back
Yeah.
working. So
Me, me and SQL, we still beefing right now. I'm still trying to get SQL right. I'm still trying to get it down. I'm gonna get it though. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, just hit me up if you need help too as well, man. Because that's kind of what I do. So if you want to learn,
Oh yeah.
complex queries and all that stuff, then I
Yeah.
definitely got you.
For
But
sure.
um, so so what got you into the IT field or wanting to get into uh the IT field?
So my background is kind of different per se.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really a person that was into school like that. I actually was in the music industry.
Okay.
I was an entertainer myself. I also ran an entertainment company. I managed artists. I threw events. I did that for about 10 years. And then I transitioned out of that and I started my first business doing graphics and printing.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for about 3 years, which it was a pretty decent experience. That kind of is when I took the marketing skills I learned from the entertainment industry and I brought it into running a print shop. And I transitioned from the print shop into tech in 2018. That's when I started looking into it. So it was actually a friend of mine who was already a system administrator for like 2 years, and he's been trying to get me in tech for a while. And I always brushed it off with the traditional thought process of, it's too much math. I'm already not a person like that, like school like that or anything. So, I just brushed it off like, um, I don't really want to do tech. I don't feel like, getting into all of that. And then one day I just gave in and I said, let me see what it's about. Now, at that time, I wasn't aware of all the opportunities because the tech space wasn't like how Twitter is right now.
Yeah.
So the main thing that you heard about around that time, or at least in my situation, was mainly either software engineering or network engineering or cybersecurity. Those are the main three that I heard about. And of course, I came across, I believe you know them as well, Lab Every Day.
Oh yeah.
And watching Lab Every Day, watching Network Chuck, watching all them, they made networking sound cool. So I was like, all right, cool, I can give this a shot. I see some people that look like me, and I see some, it looked like it's fun. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of where I started with that. Starting off with the A plus. Was never able to pass the exams, and it didn't really intrigue me as much as I wanted it to. So um, I actually ended up getting back into the music industry like a year ago. Um,
Okay.
and I was doing digital marketing there. And it was through digital marketing that I came across one of my mentors that I found off of Twitter, who actually told me about the whole data analyst profession, the whole data analytics profession. And the reason why that caught my interest is because I'm like, okay, I kind of deal with analytics on a mediocre level now. I mean, I never really had to deal with SQL or anything like that, but I did have to actually look at visualizations and, like I said, look at how ads were performing and things to that nature. So I was like, okay, this kind of matches more of my background, as far as what I'm already used to. And so I kind of took that as an opportunity to say I'm going to transition into the data analytics route and start off as a data analyst and, kind of scale up from there. So that's really how I got into tech. It started with a friend and then it just went down a rabbit hole from there.
Yeah, morphed into something else.
Yeah. It just kind of blew up on its own. And I feel like there's a book I read that I recommend to everybody called Mastery by Robert Greene. And he talks about, just trying different things until you find your lane, until you find your path. And I kind of feel like that's what happened to me, like the bouncing around. And because since I never really went to like college like that or anything, I kind of had to find out about these experiences through other people, and I kind of had to test try and see what really worked for me. So like right now, my current position is tier two provisioning specialist, but which is not bad. But like I said, I feel like data kind of aligns more with what I actually enjoy doing, So
yeah, and I figured that, and I like when I was doing a little research on you, you know what I'm saying? Because I always try to research, whoever I'm gonna bring on my platform or whatever. I saw a lot of things you built in was that Tableau?
Tableau, yeah,
Yeah, Tableau.
yeah.
So
Which I'm a
um
big fan of, by the way.
yeah. Well, can you speak on it or whatever, or what is Tableau for people that don't know?
So Tableau is a data visualization tool. It's also a business intelligence tool. I haven't studied it on the BI yet, so I can't go deep into that. But Tableau is basically it's a drag and drop data visualization tool where you can load your own data set in there, and you can create different visualizations. So it's kind of funny because I actually didn't take a course on Tableau yet. I've actually just decided to kind of play around with everything and see how it goes. And so that's how I created most of the visualizations I have right now, is just kind of like test trying, seeing where everything is. Because I did kind of play around with non-traditional visualization tools when I was doing marketing, to kind of like show my clients some of the results.
Yeah.
So but it wasn't as technical as Tableau was. It was a little bit easier. So just playing around with it, and I definitely enjoy doing it. I actually feel like I could do that every day for a living. And I feel like by the time I take a course, I kind of already set the tone. I kind of already know how to load the data sets in there. I kind of already know like how to, change different features and things like that in there. So that's one. Another one is Power BI, which I haven't touched that one yet. I do plan to touch it because my mentor, she does say that, it's good to know both. You can specialize in one, but it's good to like have an introductory of both. So I definitely plan to eventually touch Power BI. And one that I actually messed with in the course I'm taking is the Google Data Studio. So I did try that one out too. That one seems like it'll be interesting to learn. So yeah, but so far Tableau is the main one that I've really been using, and I definitely enjoy doing it. So I highly recommend it for beginners like myself. It's pretty user friendly. It's not too confusing, and you can find plenty of videos on YouTube for it. So for
Oh
sure.
yeah, and that's one thing I always try to talk about, man. It's
Yeah.
like so many resources out here. So let me ask you this then:
I
how many?
I want to touch on that resources right
Okay,
quick.
yeah, that's just what I was gonna
See,
ask you. Go ahead.
see what resources, right? I tell everybody, don't get caught up. Like, don't feel like you need 5 different resources for the same topic. You just pick your 2 best ones, pick 2 and just start there. And if you feel like you need another one, because it's so much resources, and on Twitter they post so much resources that, you know, you'll feel like, oh, I need to take like 5 data analyst courses. I need to take 5 Tableau courses. You know, you just need one to get started. And then once you actually get in the field, you're going, like, every time I get into a tech environment, I do a lot of learning on the field, you know. So you just need to know enough to get into the field, and then you can see what your weaknesses and strengths are from there.
Yeah.
So one resource I definitely recommend for Tableau, SQL, data analysts in general is this guy on YouTube. He's called Alex the Analyst. He has a nice little playlist that kind of, you know, kind of help you build your portfolio and build projects. And then you can actually take the course on Tableau itself, or you can find one off of Udemy. But the one that I'm taking right now is within the Google Data Analytics course.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's it's a good introductory. It's a good introductory, that one.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I just pulled up. I wasn't subscribed to Alex the Analyst. That's cool. I'm gonna
Oh yeah,
subscribe to him now.
he's actually the second person I came across after my mentor, you know, shined the shiny object of being a data analyst in front of my face, and I took the bait. Then that's when
Mm-hmm.
I found Alex the Analyst. Because what I do is, before I make a career decision, I do research around it and see what it's all about, you know.
Yeah.
Um, make sure, like, I go watch a day in the life of a data analyst and
Oh yeah.
a day to day. I do things like that to make sure, like, you know, because when I invest in my studying, I over invest sometimes. So, you know, I
Mm-hmm.
like to make sure that this is what I'm actually gonna do.
Now, how important it well, hold on. Before I ask that question, shout out to Master IT for the super chat. He said putting in work on a Saturday. Yes, salute, man. I appreciate you coming through and with the
Matt, you
super
said
chat.
Master IT. I think I know who that is. He got the
Yeah,
oh, I do know who that is. Yeah, Master
yeah.
IT got the dope A pluses and
Oh
all
yeah.
the comp tier, all the comp tier courses for
Oh
sure.
yeah, Master IT, man. I interviewed him a
Yeah,
couple times on the channel.
yeah,
And I think um yeah, yeah, he has an excellent platform, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. He's actually
Dope
one of
guy.
the teachers I came across in 2018 too. So
Okay. Okay,
yeah,
that's what's up, man. And
yeah.
Kawiku, I'm sorry if I'm messing up your name, but shout out to you for the donation. I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. And shout out to BG. He said he was watching my Ubuntu static IP address video and then saw I was live. Yeah, shout out, man, to you. And I'm glad I was able to help you. That's what that's why I make those videos for people that run into issues when they're learning Linux and everything. So trying to
Yeah.
think of now I didn't forgot what I was gonna ask you. So let me just
We were talking about resources and
oh yeah, yeah. So how important is it, investing in yourself?
I think it's super important. You know, it's only so much you're gonna get for free,
Yeah.
I feel like. And you know, it's another phrase I learned in a book. I don't remember which book it is, but um you can save a lot of time by talking to somebody that's already experienced, you know. So me, from the moment I decided I was going to take this path, I booked a consultation with somebody who was already a senior data analyst, you know, and they're the one that told me to take the Google Data Analytics course. I would have never known that myself because I never heard or knew that Google had a data analytics course. So, you know, a lot of people come to me and they ask, you know, where should I start? What course should I start with? And so I feel like that's the good thing with going to somebody who already has been established in this industry. They can kind of give you some resources that they would suggest, and you can start there, you know, because if they suggest it, 9 times out of 10, they vetted it for themselves or they made sure that it was worthy. Um, and then I also say that that's the importance of a beginner documenting their journey, you know, which is basically how I started to build my audience, was documenting my journey, as because by you documenting your journey, you're helping the next set of beginners, you know, this next set of people that's seeking this information and not sure where to start, because there's just so much, you know,
Mm-hmm.
information, so much resources, so much YouTube videos, um, you know, so many different opinions. You know, you have people that are for the Google course, you have people that are not, so it can confuse people, you
Yeah.
know. So it's good for you to document your journey and people can kind of see like how it's working for you, you know, because most people like to see stuff before they get into it for themselves. So um, it's kind of like when I started, when I was running my businesses, my clientele grew as I got one client and that client would shout me out, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And then it would just grow from there because people like to see that somebody else has done it first. So, that's kind of why I believe in investing in yourself. It'll be worth it in the long run. It'll save you time and it'll be worth it in the long run. And it doesn't just only have to be monetary, right? But it can also be mentally. You have to mentally prepare to go on this journey of studying because that Google course is it's pretty long. I've
Yeah.
been working on it since August, and I'm just now about to be finished. Like in like 2 or 3 days, I should be finished it. I,
Okay.
so, but yeah, you got to be mentally prepared to, and get ready to discipline yourself and create some habits that is going to allow you to finish the course, allow you to actually, practice it because SQL and Excel, as you know, because you deal with it, if you don't practice that information, you could easily forget it. So
Oh
much
yeah.
commands and everything. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Now you mentioned something interesting. You said you pay for a consultation with
yeah,
someone that actually works in the field, and
yeah,
that kind of, I don't know, that kind of made me think about one of those things I always kind of talk about is people should find a mentor or
yeah.
someone that's already in the field that can guide you in the right direction. So you think that was an important part of your process, right? Just even if
Yeah,
sometimes you have to pay for it,
yeah.
or
I
yeah.
paid her twice actually. I paid her twice.
Wow.
I paid her the first time to gather the information, and then after I gathered the information, I paid her again to get some clarity on some things. And
Okay.
I didn't have to pay her again since then. I kind of was able to find my lane from there. But I do believe mentorship is important, but I do have a different theology on mentorship.
Mhm.
I don't think you have to have one mentor.
Yeah.
Like from the time I entered tech from 2018, I've had more than one mentor. Some of them didn't know they were my mentors, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but I've always had different people I can go to, if I needed different opinions or if I needed advice and one person wasn't ready, available, I would have other people. So I've always had more than one mentor, because everybody's busy, everybody has their own stuff going on. So, but I do believe that paying for that consultation did help me.
Mhm.
It did save me some time and it did help give me a sense of direction of the different possibilities because even through that mentorship, I started to learn about even different paths within data analytics, right? Because it's more than just data scientists or data analysts. You can be a business analyst, you could be a business intelligence analyst, you could be
Mhm.
an analytical engineer, you could be a data engineer. Like, I started learning about all the different options that you can do. I even learned that I can merge my history or my background and do marketing data analyst or marketing
Yeah.
analyst, And so, that consultation was definitely, worth it. Um, and I would definitely recommend, sitting down with somebody who's in the field and getting their insight, because a lot of people, have been coming to me for things, and I remind everybody that I am new and I'm still transitioning myself.
Yeah.
So whatever resources I document it for everybody to publicly see. What I learn is what I put out, and that's
Mhm.
really all I know at the moment. So, I never try to act like I've been in this for 10 years, or I don't try to give off this false image of myself.
Mhm.
I try to keep it transparent and say I am, a transitioning from a help desk position into a data analyst position. And these are the resources I'm using. This is the steps that I've done. This is what I see is working for me.
Mhm.
You can give it a try for yourself and see if it works for you.
And it's important, and that's one of the reasons you know I don't care if you've been working in the field for 20 years or you've been working in the
Yeah.
field for 6 months. It's important to hear people that are getting into the field, because I'm considered an old head now.
Yeah.
The way I got in is not the way people are getting into the field nowadays. It's totally different. It's changed. You
Yeah.
can't apply my route to the way things are today. So that's why it's important to talk to people that are transitioning into the field so you can hear or see on the ground process of how to actually get into the field versus my old thinking from 2020 2008 when I
Yeah.
first got in. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. It's different.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's totally different, man. So hey,
It's
man,
different. Yeah.
yeah, that's why I bring you on. I would bring people on. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
no matter where they are in their career, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, definitely. And it's just all about, being honest with yourself too. If you don't know something, you just got to go learn it.
mm-hmm,
If it interests you. Um, another thing that I kind of tell everyone, and I tell myself too, is focus on your path. Don't really watch too much people's path like that, or don't get caught up in it at least, because it can throw you off track, right?
mm-hmm,
Because every couple months it's a new wave of systems or a new wave of opportunities coming out, and if you focus on every new opportunity that come out, you'll miss your opportunity that you're working on. So you just got to stay in your lane and do what you have to do, right? So I've been doing interviews, and one interview I did prior to the new year, it was for a business analyst role.
mm-hmm,
I didn't get the position, but what the interview taught me was that sometimes we could overstudy. We could study more than what we need to study.
yeah,
And so, it's best to look at the job descriptions. It's best to look at what is required for entry level and
mm-hmm,
just focus on that. Don't focus on something that you think you may be using as a senior data analyst when you're still trying to be a junior data analyst.
yeah,
If you like, I can say, if you want a junior data analyst role, learn SQL, learn Excel, learn a data visual tool, whether that's Tableau, Power BI, whichever one you choose. I know they have Looker and a few other ones. Um, what I said, SQL, Excel, data viz tool, and a
mm-hmm,
programming language like R or Python. I
yeah,
believe if you learn those four, it can get you in the door. And then, you can learn different things as you grow within your career.
mm-hmm.
But if you're just getting started, I don't think you need to go beyond, those four things to get into the field.
Cool, cool. So I got a question from the chat. I wanted to ask you. What type of questions did you ask during your um, consultation? If you can share.
So I probably don't remember every single question,
Yeah, well, yeah,
but my
just an
first
overview.
question is, it was what is a data analyst, right? Because again, I've heard of data analytics, but I never heard of a data analyst. So,
Mm-hmm.
I asked what was a data analyst and what do they actually do. Um, I also asked, where should I start studying? That's when my mentor told me about Tableau. She told me about the Tableau desktop specialist cert that they had at the time. I think they still have it.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked her where I should start, and she gave me the comparison of either the Tableau or the Google, depending on what I wanted to do, because at that time I was mainly doing marketing. So she told me if I want to be on the technical side of data, to do the Google course, because they teach you SQL, R, and they teach you Excel and things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
if I wanted to stay on the marketing, to just do the Tableau, because that mainly would just be dashboards. Because in marketing, you don't really need to use SQL
Yeah,
or
yeah,
R, so you can just use the Tableau dashboards, and
yeah.
you can actually, I learned through recruiters later down the line that you can actually get, a Tableau developer job, or a data visualization job, where that's your main focus. But I did ask those. Let's see if I can remember what else I asked her, because I did this consultation in August, so
Okay.
I don't think I'll remember everything. But I did ask, what is a data analyst? I did ask, where should I start as far as my studying? I did ask about the potential salaries. I did
Mm-hmm.
ask about the different career paths that you can take. Um, and I think that's really all I can remember,
Mm-hmm.
honestly.
Nah,
But
that's
like I
cool.
said, I did two of them. It's just I did it so long ago, I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Yeah, and yeah, and that's I'm glad you was able to, kind of at least give people examples though of what to ask, but that's something that you ask. So find that mentor, especially if you're interested in getting into the field, that's some of those questions you want to cover, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to pay, man. I gotta just express that again. Don't be
Mm-hmm.
afraid to pay because you know you get more information like that. Sometimes you got to pay for what you want,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't regret it at all, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Those two consultations, it helped me to get where I am right now. It gave me a direction. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's true, man. Because a lot of times when I've paid for certain things, I get more out of it. I get more
yeah,
value. You get what you pay for. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to
yeah,
look for the free, you know what I'm saying. You're not gonna get all the information you need in order to probably. You'll probably eventually get the information, but it probably would have took you a longer time to get it,
yeah.
versus yeah, just going on and pay and get them. But shout out to Gay Bay. Salute to you, man. I see you. I also see you in the building, Alonzo Hall. Good to see you as well. But shout out Gay Bay, man. I definitely appreciate you, bro. They can't
Oh,
wait till
I
you start
see.
putting out videos on your channel, bro. I'm gonna start sharing you out, and supporting as much as I can, bro. And
I think
sis, oh, go ahead.
I see Linda asked did I say who I did the consultation with? So I actually didn't, but
Okay,
on Twitter her name is I am Kiera D. I am
okay.
Kiera D. Let me see if I could see how to spell it. I know different ways to spell it. Let me see. So it's okay, so it's I am Kiera, Kierrad. That was who I booked my consultation with. I think she actually still does consultations too. So, just tell her that Jamar sent you and that you trying to do a consultation. I think she also has other services too, like all that. So, just check her out.
Cool, cool. Yeah,
I see Kev Tech IT support is in the chat.
yeah.
I also know him too off LinkedIn. That's
Hmm.
another techie I support.
Yeah, but shout out Citizen Lou. Good to see you, bro. AB Media, I see you as well. Um, hold on, I thought I didn't want to miss nobody.
Yeah.
Alonzo, what's up, bro? Um, good to see all you guys, though. I definitely appreciate you coming through. Um, now it was something else I wanted. Let me see. Or did you have anything else you wanted to say? I'm
I,
sorry,
I
because I
want
kind
to
of
say
cut you off.
something. 'Cause
Oh,
I
go
see
ahead.
Linda said she took so many courses. So I kind of go back to what I said. Just you don't really need to take too much courses. You can just take two of each or one of each. And then after you take those courses, like me, my main focus this month, because like I said, I'll be done with this Google course in like 2 3 days, and then for the rest of the month, I'm only focused on projects. You know, I'm not doing any more courses right now. I'm just gonna do projects, and
Hmm.
then from projects, I'm gonna start back applying. I took a break from applying to really get my projects together, but after that, I'm gonna start applying because if you take all these courses, you'll just get stuck in the cycle of studying. And one thing I learned from running businesses in the past is you just got to start. You just got to do it. You know,
Hmm.
you can only prepare but so much. You don't want to get stuck in the preparation phase. You don't
Yeah.
want to just keep preparing. Eventually, you got to put all those stuff that you learn into play. That's something that Lab Every Day taught me for sure. So
Hmm.
after you took a course or two, you want to transition into projects, and then from those projects, link with a resume writer or fix your own resume and get out there and start applying for jobs,
Hmm.
and document your journey. I don't know if you had a question about documentation,
Yeah,
but
that's what I was
I'll
gonna ask you. Like
yeah,
that's something that I think is important, you know what I'm saying? That's why I try
yeah,
to bring on a lot of people that's,
yeah,
you know, documenting their stuff. I see you got a blog. Well, you got links and all that stuff to every, like, your portfolio, or that's basically
yeah,
what I call it. Your
yeah,
GitHub, your Tableau, that's pretty much a tech portfolio. You putting out there and you showing people what you've
yeah.
done, and that's considered experience as well. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I actually started documenting my journey in 2000. I'm sorry, not 2000. Well, I did though. I used to have a channel called Network J. That was the first time I started documenting my tech journey. But
Okay.
for data analysts, I started in November. And it's crazy. I didn't expect the results that I got because that's not what I was doing it for. I was
Mm-hmm.
doing it to hold myself accountable, but I ended up getting followers and all that, going viral and things like that. But the original idea was to hold myself accountable that I'm doing this, because in another book I read, it also said that if you want accountability, put it out to the public, you
Yep.
know because now you have people watching, so now you feel like you have to actually do it.
Yeah.
um so that was my method of doing it, and it just so happened to be helping other people along the way, which I think that's a plus.
Yeah.
But I also document on LinkedIn. A lot of people ask me, how do you document on LinkedIn? They're scared to do it. Nothing to be scared of, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think twice about it, honestly. If I'm studying something, I'll take a screenshot of it, or I'll take a picture. I'll put maybe one or two things that I'm actually doing in it, and I'll just post it. I use a
Mm-hmm.
couple hashtags and I just post it. I don't really worry about too much. I kind of just do it, and whatever happens, happens. So um, since I've been documenting my journey, I've actually had recruiters hit me up for opportunities. I've had people within um, Amazon, people within LinkedIn, all of them reaching out to me saying, let them know once I'm ready, and
Mm-hmm.
they'll send my resume to whoever they got to send it to.
Okay.
And I had a recruiter actually call me and say that she's seen one of my posts, and that's why she called me. Because she's seen my posts about wanting to, work as a data analyst in a marketing environment.
Okay.
So um, I haven't really had to apply for these recruiters to reach out to me. They just see me documenting my journey. They see that I'm passionate about it,
Mm-hmm.
and now the only thing I'm missing is just perfecting my skill set.
Yeah.
Enough to at least get an entry level role.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said this month I'm only focused on projects. But the reason why I say document your journey is because, one, the biggest thing is you'll have accountability.
Yeah.
Two, you'll be helping other people. And my phrase is each one teach one. So if you can help people by documenting your journey, why not? And then third, you'll have recruiters and people reaching out to you. And whenever they see an opportunity available, they'll think about you because they see you come up in their timeline so many times.
Yeah.
Like I had an incident like earlier this week where somebody connected with me on LinkedIn. They said they see my posts all the time, but it was one post that stuck out to them, and they decided to send me a connection request. So don't be shy. Like I said, you can take a screenshot, you can take a picture, you can create a blog, you can create a YouTube, you can create a thread on Twitter. um, you can just post it on LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
whichever one works for you. So I definitely, think documenting your journey helps. Um, and it's a form of branding yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and being that my background is in marketing and in running businesses, being that I was an entrepreneur, I look at myself like a brand.
Yeah.
I look at myself like I'm already a data analyst and I'm just preparing myself for a job. I don't have to wait for the job to call myself a data analyst. And everybody look at that different, but that's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, I'm just branding myself, showing off the skill sets that I have to offer, and eventually somebody's gonna buy into it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, and I agree, man. LinkedIn is very important. It's a very great tool, to
Yeah,
even market yourself and build up your network. So it's definitely important to have one of those. Now you brought up something interesting earlier, and you brought it up like a couple of times. Is Excel still the beast that it is, like used in the field? Because that's kind of how I got into data analysts and all that stuff. Is it still the
yeah.
goat?
So I can only speak from what I've heard because I don't actually work in the field yet.
Yeah.
So based on what I heard and based on the job descriptions that I see, Excel is still a number one requirement.
Yep.
But I think SQL might be beating it just a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Just a
and
little bit. SQL is definitely beating it, but Excel, every data professional I talk to says that you still need to learn Excel.
okay.
So yeah, we can't run from Excel. But the good thing is, if you know Excel, you can learn SQL because
Yeah.
it's a lot of the things are very similar.
Yep. Yep.
So
That's 100% true. That's how I got into SQL. Strictly from understanding Excel and learning Excel, because I joined the
Yeah.
military. I don't know if I tell you that, but I did the whole military route to, pay for school and all that stuff or whatever. Well, one of the big things that you find out about, especially when you don't work as a like an infantry guy or whatever, um, they use Excel in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like Excel documents are used pretty much in everything as far as tracking stuff. And
Yeah.
so I
I
just
mean, it also depends on the environment, right? Because if you're
oh
working
yeah.
with a small data set, I mean, you don't really need to use SQL for a
Yeah,
small data set. So
that's true.
I think it just depends on what you're actually working on.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep. But yeah, Excel, man, that's so I learned a lot just from having to manage a whole bunch of spreadsheets in the military,
Yeah,
tracking, whatever. And so
SQL is
that
fun
that
though.
helped me transition. And
SQL is fun. I don't think I
oh
mentioned it
yeah,
earlier, but you can create visualizations in not SQL. I'm sorry, Excel.
Excel, yeah.
See, that's how much me and SQL are beefing. It's just attacking my mind. It's just,
Yeah.
but yeah, in Excel you can create data visualizations, which
Yep.
I actually like that, and I really like pivot tables.
Yeah, that's what I was
Pivot
gonna bring
tables is
up.
pretty
Pivot
fun.
tables. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
dope. That's dope. When you
yeah,
when you really understand how to use it, that's a dope tool within Excel. And
yeah,
look, I'm getting excited about talking about Excel because
yeah.
I I,
Lis-
I I haven't done
Listen,
much in it lately, but
listen.
yeah.
Let me tell you, I was amazed because I never used Excel or Google Sheets. I used to look at that and be like, oh, I don't know how to use it. So I never touched it. So to actually learn it, play around with it, I'm like, oh wow, I
Mhm.
could do all this.
Yeah.
It's a shock all the things you could do. So and I plan to actually apply it into my personal life too,
Oh
as
yeah.
practice from and to, keep things organized and things like that. So, I say learn Excel, like I said, Excel, SQL,
Hmm.
data viz tool. I think you can't go wrong,
Yeah.
even with just those three. You can always come back and learn Python or R later, but even if you just learn those three, I see a lot of jobs that you can definitely get into with that. So
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up, and I'm gonna walk it back a little bit to LinkedIn. You were talking about how recruiters were contacting you. That I
yeah,
mean, it's important to share your experience and your journey. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
they they'll hit you up. You know what I'm saying
yeah,
for jobs based on because they see you learning and actually practicing the skill sets that they require for certain positions. So it's
yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. But you
if you
also
want
I
to
want to
add,
touch on that too. Like you
hmm
also want to be real with yourself, right? Because even though they're hitting me up, I know I'm not ready to go sit in that
oh yeah,
interview.
yeah,
So you want to be real with yourself and don't get too excited. Like, I just kept it honest with them and told, I'll keep your information and I'll send you my resume when I'm done. And they
yeah,
appreciate that. Because
yeah,
what you don't want to do is get excited, go in there and you don't know nothing about how to explain SQL
yeah,
or
and
anything
bomb
like
the
that. And now,
interview.
not yeah, you bombed the interview and you kind of make yourself look bad. So, don't get too excited. Save their contact. Keep in touch with them every now and then. Like I sent everybody Happy New Year and all that.
That's
So
dope.
that they can keep, remember me and so forth. And I got their numbers. So,
Hmm.
but keeping it real with yourself is definitely important. But also, you know, people that's not even in HR may see you. Like, for example, yesterday I commented on this guy who's a VP of analytics at his company,
Okay,
and he actually responded back to me and said he likes my content. He's been watching my content. So
that's
I
dope.
would have never even thought that he watched my content. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? I never really even thought he seen my stuff. So that's another thing is you just never know who's looking,
Yeah, yeah, that's
You
true.
never
That's
know
true.
who's looking. So and that's something I learned from the entertainment industry too. So, that's a transferable thought process that I was able to bring
Hmm.
into this industry.
Yeah, it surprised me when legit Linux people would start contacting me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People that own companies and all that stuff that are
Hmm.
in the Linux world,
Yeah.
and legitimately in the Linux world, not spam or whatever. Like
Yeah.
real people
Yeah.
actually hitting me up and wanting to do business with me and work with me. It's you never know who's listening or who's watching and seeing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I agree there. Now,
Exactly.
My man Maddox always reminds me to ask this question. So what's your command center, man?
My
And me,
command.
yeah, your command center. Like, what type of system do you have? As
Oh,
far as your computer that you work with, or your Mac guy,
oh,
Windows guy.
I'm a
Uh,
Windows guy. I ain't gonna lie. I am. I do be thinking about trying the Mac, but you know what I like about Windows is you can update the RAM and update the hard drive whenever you want. You
yeah,
know.
yeah,
So but I actually got a. I don't really got nothing too fancy. I just got an
yeah.
HP ProBook, which I actually did have to upgrade my RAM and my hard drive myself.
Okay.
So that was the benefits of studying the A plus.
Oh
I
yeah.
learned how to do that myself. So but I do have iPhone, so you know maybe I'll transfer over to
To the
see. But
Apple,
if I
to
get
the
Apple,
dark side.
if I get Apple, I gotta learn Linux now.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, they make Apple so much. Well, Mac or Apple, it's pretty simple. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's not really. I mean, you don't have to touch the command line unless you really want to, or you really want to search or you really want to open it up and actually use it. That's the only
yeah,
way. Other than that, Mac is it's just like Windows. It's just a different way of using
yeah,
the desktop. You know.
yeah. Definitely, definitely. So yeah, I wanted to like double back to another thing I'm gonna be using to build my portfolio is GitHub.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I know like some people say that data analyst is a non-technical role, but I think it's technical. I mean, we're dang near coders at this point. If you're learning Python and R
Oh
and
yeah.
SQL, you know, I you might as well just say we're programmers. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, GitHub is definitely a spot that I would recommend to store your code and your repositories and things like that.
Okay.
Don't ask me any questions about it. I don't know nothing about it. I'm still learning. I'm completely oblivious to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you. Now let
uh,
me ask you this. You brought this up, so I'm gonna ask you, or so do you understand or you learning or? Because I did a
I,
video on it, just
yeah.
understanding how to install it or learn teaching people how to install it and kind of play around with it. I know it's used for data visualization and statistics, pretty much. Um,
Yeah, I just started learning R this week because it's in course 7 of the Google Analytics course,
okay.
Google Data Analytics course, and they gave us the option to download R, but they also said we can just use R Studio, the cloud version. So
Okay.
right now I'm using R Studio because I wasn't 100% sure if I was gonna stick with R because I
Yeah.
see everybody say Python is more dominant,
Hmm. But
but
you know
yeah,
that the syntax is pretty much it's almost the same as Python.
yeah,
So when you learn Python, you're learning basically the concepts for R because
okay,
it's just working with data at that point. It's just more centered around working with data and different types of data sets based on the libraries and all that stuff. So I mean,
got
it's
you.
yeah, based on just me and I'm not no expert in it. This is surface level, just like what you saying. So surface level, looking at it and touching it a little bit. It's essentially the same as Python, from what I'm
Got
learning.
you.
Yeah.
I mean, what I can say is I like it more than SQL right now. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's been fun using it. I did create a scatter plot in it last night that I'm actually gonna post today.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so I did create a scatter plot in it as a part of one of the assignments we're doing in the course.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and oh, I should mention this. Sometimes the command does that they type in the video doesn't work. So you have to Google and troubleshoot, which I had to do that last night because I typed it exactly how they said it and it still didn't work. So I had to Google and troubleshoot on my own and I got it to work.
Mm-hmm.
So even in the Google course, you may have to do that for SQL and R
Okay.
and Excel for
Yeah.
anybody that plans to take that course. So
Yeah, and that's normal in a lot of cases because they'll build that curriculum for the course, and it could be 6 months, a year down the line, and some of the information may be outdated, and you have to
outdated,
resort to
yo.
figure it out, yeah, or kind of play around with it to get it to work right. because they may have done
Yeah.
an update to a library that breaks like one little piece of the code.
Yeah. And
So
it's crazy. I actually ended up figuring it out by accident. I put the code somewhere that it was a complete opposite place of where they put it. I think I put it in the console,
okay,
and I put it in the console just to see what happened. And when I hit enter, the scatter plot came up. I was like, oh, okay.
there we go.
I guess I figured it out. So,
There we go.
you know, uh,
Yeah, that's
but they
dope.
tell you that in the course, though. They say that sometimes the code may not work and you'll have to do research, But I think I'm going to go ahead and download R. I do enjoy it, and I'll take your advice. And it does, if it matches Python, it'll make sense. So,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, I think knowing both is good at the end of the day. So,
Oh
why
yeah,
not? Yeah.
yeah, definitely, definitely. But shout out to everybody that came through. We're gonna go on and close it out. Make sure you guys go check out Jamar. I have all his links down in the description of the video. So you could get his Twitter, get to his GitHub, his Tableau page, YouTube. So you gonna start putting videos on your channel? Or
I got two right now. I
okay.
plan to get more consistent with it though, like doing tutorials of like Tableau projects and
Mm-hmm.
SQL projects and things like that. I plan to do that more. I'm working on time management right now because I also manage a Discord channel that I started around
Oh
the time
yeah.
I started documenting my journey,
Oh
and
yeah,
that
it's
has
jumping over
grown.
there, man. I
It's
seen
grown
it.
to like 700 plus members. So
Yeah.
like yeah, it's just trying to level everything out. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff I'm working on to like continue branding myself and things like that. So could definitely follow me on Twitter at DataJ and Tech. That's really everything. Twitter and LinkedIn. Those are the only social medias I got.
Hmm.
So that's the only place you can find me outside of YouTube.
Yeah, that's dope, Jamar, man. I definitely appreciate you coming through, you know what I'm saying, and doing this. I This is the first one of the year, you know what I'm saying?
We kicked
I
it
was
in.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
my birthday month too, so we did
Oh
good.
yeah. For sure, for sure. Happy birthday. I don't know if is it coming up or is it
It was the third,
okay.
January
Well,
3rd.
happy
Yeah,
belated. Happy belated, man.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So but shout out to everybody that came through. I see a couple people coming through, at the last minute. But check out Jamar, check out Jay, Data J, in tech. He's on Twitter. And all his links are down in the description of the video. And shout out to Go Professor. What's up, man? One of my members of the channel. I definitely appreciate you coming through. And Mustafa, I've been meaning to say something to you, bro. But shout out to you for coming through, bro. I definitely appreciate it. Kev Tech, always a pleasure to see you in the building. But shout out to everybody again, and I hope you guys have a good day. I got a couple new guests, and before y'all leave, I got a couple guests that are coming. I'm excited about for this year as well. I kind of jumped into the lane of YouTubers. So some pretty big YouTubers are gonna be coming through to talk about the tech field. You know what I'm saying? I think that'll be interesting for you guys to actually see and come through and check out. And when I say YouTubers, they actually don't work in the tech field, but they do something similar to tech that I think will be interesting to actually talk about here on the channel. But shout out to everybody that came through again. Salute and peace.
Peace.